Hey everybody, and welcome to another evening of Peyton Chat. As always, I am joined by Aaron, Josh, and Sean, and tonight is a very special night because we have lots of discussion, lots of topics, all around the two new codices, which I think I even spelled right in the title, because I had to Google it. I wrote codexes with an S, and then I was like, I think that's wrong, so I Googled it.
And what if Codices?
And so I put codices, which maybe that'll actually be worse for the algorithm because maybe nobody else knows that.
Yeah.
You did it correctly, and you should be happy about that.
Tonight, though, I am working on the regular old troops from the Gene Stealers, and I have my custom ones that are World War II like versions. So we got some guys with AKs and grenade launchers and whatnot. We're going to be working on those. Aaron, what are you up to?
I am going to be building some Triarch Praetorians because they are very good now.
Triarch Praetorians.
Yep.
That just is fun to say.
It is.
Josh, are you still on the exile path?
I am on the exile path.
Hello, TY. Welcome. If you have any questions, if there's anything you want to tell us, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. It is so nice to see you. And Sean, you are working on?
I'm gonna build some Raveners and some Warriors for these Tyranids. I'm in a construction frame of mind.
So I think my camera's frozen already.
What?
Yeah.
That's what you get for having the TV screen.
Yep.
It's not that camera.
It's the new filter.
It's not that camera. It's the Logitech for my painting space.
What? That sucks.
So
that seems to be my more reliable camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try.
I think that's just your cue, Sean, to let's see some of that.
Fix that.
That hand shot.
Oh yeah, my hand modeling career.
Yeah, there you go.
What was that? What did we? There was some stupid movie that had the dude from X-Files, and he was like a hand model and had his hand like in a glass.
Zoolander,
and
bro.
that movie is not stupid.
That's amazing.
Zoolander? Hell yeah. I haven't watched Zoolander in a long time. I need to have a gasoline fight with someone. You guys want to have a gasoline fight?
Zoolander 2 is really
sounds fun right
really
now.
dumb.
I was never a fan of Zoolander.
Oh,
No?
No.
I thought it was stupid fun, like a Bill and Ted kind of thing.
I just didn't like Ben Stiller for a really long time.
No? Yeah,
No.
Now I will say there are a bunch of his movies that I cannot watch and I think are dumb as hell.
Yeah.
But Zoolander was good. I liked it.
Okay, I have a new idea.
What's your new idea?
Can
By the way, you changed how I think about you now that I know that you don't like Zoolander.
It changes how you
Long
think
dog.
about him?
Yeah.
You think different of me? Okay. That's cool, bro.
That's harsh.
I think different of you for thinking different of me, so, you know.
I didn't say how differently I thought about you.
Well, neither did I, so I guess we're both lucky.
Hey, you know what?
What
You
is
guys should be
this?
friends. I think y'all get along.
A building for ants? Hey. Okay.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
Oh, you got a lot of
but
models there.
Now I gotta fix it on the stream. Okay, so I gotta delete
The
that.
poor folks out there can't even see it.
I'm working.
Right.
I'm trying.
Aaron, this is why you don't get any of these borders, none of these smiley faces. This is what happens when you start playing around with this.
Don't mess with
It's
that.
not that. It's not the zoom camera. That's the problem.
Okay.
You know what? Next time, guys, I'm gonna have my my poster of Major Kusanagi up on my cabinets.
I don't know
next
who
time
that
we
is.
do this.
Okay, so you can't see my face, but you can see my cool
Minotaurs.
minotaurs, which is actually kind of sad. So now that we have that resolved, Hey, guess who's back from Valhalla? I don't want to know because I'm not jealous at all.
Envious. You're not jealous. Envious.
I'm filled with jealousy and rage.
Oh, well. Okay, then.
But I'll read it. It was
Protect
epic.
yourself, Rockstar, with that awesome sword that you won.
Yeah, dude. That is so cool.
Wait, what?
He won, like, this year they gave a sword, they did a drawing. You have to explain it. He posted a picture in the Discord. If you are a Patreon, then you are welcome to join our Discord, where he posted this awesome sword that they gave away at the end of Valhalla, which I've never done before.
Viking sword.
No, that's cool.
That's new. That's new. But yeah, we weren't there. Just sad.
Yeah.
Apparently, there were many giant moose sightings.
Yeah, I
Giant
saw
meese?
the picture of the one by the fence.
And many games were played. I
want to hear the highlight of the games. What were the
I don't know. No one has told me. I'm unhappy with my brushes tonight. Okay, this one will do. So I am, just so everybody knows, I am doing Skeleton Horde as the base of all my models. And then I detail the leather bits with snakebite leather, which is just a bit darker. And then I'm doing all of the metal in a really bright silver, which is Ironbreaker silver. It's almost like mithril. As that's kind of like, I'm thinking about it like a mining sort of aluminum, like they have a bad save, right? So it's more like aluminum armor, but
they
it's
have a bad save.
They have a bad save, so it's not like awesome carbon steel, whatever super stuff. It's like aluminum, but it's more suited for mining because it's resistant to rust. So it's shiny and it's not rusty, and that's part of the mythos of my Gene Stealers.
You can say it. It's alright, Aaron. It's fluff.
It's my personal fluff.
Oh.
It's my
Fluff is awesome, dude.
Personal fluff. So tonight, hopefully, I will get. And then I decided to make them all sort of zombie sickly looking. So, it's actually like 3 contrast paints on their head, but it gives them like a gray, blue, brown.
Great. Great. Okay.
Like
Gray brown.
Gray
Blue
brown. Gray brown. Which is not just me being lazy, so that I don't have to repaint the heads when I accidentally get snakebite leather on them. But that's not why we're here tonight. Hello. No.
Hey, huh?
I actually caught this one. Hey, welcome, D. I'm so glad. Unfortunately, my I'm down to 1 camera. I'm gonna have to figure out why this keeps happening before the next one. I thought I had it all straightened out. I updated everything, but I'm down to 1 camera. We are here today because there are new codexes.
There are new codexes.
And there is a lot to talk about. Disclaimer: we are not GW affiliates or whatever,
not at all.
Whatever their program is. So we do not have the codexes that were sent. So we are, we are reliant off of the information from the interwebs, and we will do the best. But if we get something wrong, it's because we're dirty, dirty liars. That's just the only reason why.
I can accept that.
So hopefully you can accept that. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with Space Marines, or do we want to start with Necrons? What's up?
Does anyone want to start with what they pre-ordered?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pre-orders were up yesterday.
Sean, do you know what I pre-ordered?
I have no idea what you pre-ordered.
So you missed the messages.
I have. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff lately, so I think
missed some messages.
Well,
I've been awake for a total of 8 hours this week.
This is exciting. Then this is exciting for you. I pre-ordered the Chaplain on Bike. I pre-ordered 6 of the ATVs.
6.
6, yeah, 2 squads of 3.
That's pretty intense.
I pre-ordered 3 of the turrets. I pre-ordered the Necron dice. The Necron.
Oh, you think you did, huh?
The Necron Lord.
Very nice.
And 2 copies of the Space Marine book and 1 copy of the Necron book because I am now adding both codexes to the 8,000 subscriber giveaway. We'll be giving out the codexes,
Sweeten in the pot,
and the Indominus box set. But if you look at my cart very carefully, which we can all do in our imagination, because I'm not going to open my email, you'll notice that I got charged for 2 chaplains on a bike.
What? Uh-oh.
And that's because one of them I paid for Sean's chaplain on a bike for your birthday.
Nice.
That's super cool.
So happy birthday, Sean.
Thanks, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Hey.
Appreciate it,
This
man.
coming weekend.
So Sean, what did you pre-order?
A chaplain on a bike. The good thing is,
right?
good thing is, I play Dark Angels, and I hear that the new rules have all sorts of crazy stuff. So what that lets me do is that lets me have a chaplain on a bike, and then we get to figure out what other awesome stuff is in the Space Marine Codex, and then I got a model to use as my base for an awesome captain or lieutenant or the leader of a Black Knight squad. I don't know, but I am still stoked about a second one. Like, no lies.
Well, I don't know. Did he did you pay for it?
I don't know. I can't really count anymore.
Because it's possible that you're just getting one and I paid for it.
Oh, okay.
Because I emailed him and I was like, dude, Sean's gonna order this and I want to pay for it.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what happened, because honestly, my PayPal, the invoice I got was less than I had expected.
But if you only ordered one thing, then the invoice should have been 0.
No, but I also so what I ordered was I got 1 ATV because I'm not a douchebag.
Oh. Why am I a douchebag?
No, I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to go like all out on them, man. Like, I know they're going to be super good, but I have a million other soldiers that I've been playing with and building and getting squared away, and I didn't want to pre-order, half of my army when I've already got, too much shit to go in my army.
First of all, I want to say hi to Trainaholic. I'm so sorry to hear about your friend that passed away. That's a real bummer.
Yeah, we never liked that.
I think you should definitely do an update video. And D says, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I tuned out after you called me a douchebag. So why did you only need one?
No, I only need one because I only wanted one. And it said push fit. I don't know what's up with that.
A lot of stuff is push fit now.
Yeah, I'm not excited about push fit.
Yeah.
So I was very like reserved with that. But so I ordered a chaplain. I ordered the bike. I'm sorry, the ATV. I ordered the codex. I ordered the cards. Because I'm kind of a junkie for the cards. I think they make stuff.
Oh yeah, I ordered the cards too. Yeah.
And what else? I gotta actually pull up my email and look. And I think I pre-ordered a. Give me a second. Guys.
Did you buy the dice?
I did not buy the dice. I have lots of Dark Angels dice from the last release that I really, really like.
And they didn't cost $35 then.
And they didn't cost $35. So yeah, Codex Space Marines, data cards, Chaplain on a Bike, Invader ATV, and a Goliath Rock Grinder.
A Goliath Rock Grinder.
Yeah, because they were on the pre-order list too.
Wait, I thought those were already out.
They are.
It is. But since we're all telling everybody the secrets and stuff.
So can I have my Goliath Rock Grinder back?
This is Aaron's birthday present. Is the Goliath Rock Grinder?
Yes. That's so funny.
Because we were talking about it the other day, and I was like, yeah, I totally owe that guy Goliath.
Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll have fun. I mean, I personally, I think you should go rock grinder with it as opposed to the other weird one.
Well, now I can, because now I'll have
Giant
one of
flamer.
each.
Oh hell yeah, because it just the one with the little chunky stuff on the front and the huge flamer on the top is just.
I think it's adorable you guys got each other 40K vehicles for your birthday.
Yeah.
That's what we do, man.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
You know what I was really sad about though? I was sad the pre-order didn't include the new skimmer that we saw in all those pictures.
Yeah,
I was really
and it
looking
didn't. It
forward
also
to
didn't
that.
include the missile tank bastion thing, whatever the heck that's called.
Missile tank bastion thing. Oh, the drop thingamadooby.
Which doesn't actually drop.
Yeah.
It
No,
doesn't actually drop.
I got no interest in that
But it
model. I
did.
got no interest in those AA guns. Like, those are things that I would buy if I was just wasting money and I wanted to put them somewhere in, like,
It'd be a super duper cool piece of terrain, huh?
So
well,
what did Aaron order?
I got the Necron book and the cards. I got Cesarek because that guy is just gonna be redonkulous. I mean, just insane. I got 3 Doomstalkers because they're also going to be super good, it looks like, and awesome weapons platforms. And then I got 2 of the Locust Heavy Destroyers. I was hoping that they were going to be a lot better than they were, and they look like they might be okay to add on to some squads. I was really hoping to be able to run them in triplets, but I don't think the points are there for them. So I got a couple, and I might kit bash one of them actually into a Locust Lord because they didn't update the old destroyer kits. They're still around, but they didn't update them, and they look kind of dweeby.
By the way, is anybody getting any weird feedback? Because I realized I'm not wearing my headphones.
I'm not getting any weird feedback.
I'm not.
Okay,
Internets?
good. Internets? No weird feedback? Does anyone play historicals? Okay, Starhawk, listen. First of all, thank you for being our newest patron. Patron.
Hey, thanks.
So that is awesome. You are awesome. Technically, I am playing historicals right now because my guys are World War II converts into Gene Stealer.
I don't think that counts.
I'm pretty sure it does because he's got a magazine.
No, that's like saying Marvel Crisis Protocol is historic because you painted Captain America like before.
Which I did.
Which I did.
I also painted.
Oh, yeah, you turned into
Captain
a grognard
Marvel
in
in
the past
his
6
historical
months.
costume and not his modern costume. So I play historical games.
Did you put prop propellers on all of your X-wing?
I will
all right,
now.
that's pretty funny. I'm not really in a place where I can laugh, but if I could, I would.
That's depressingly funny as well.
Yeah, it's the name of my game.
Well,
Okay, I switched to the headphones. Uh-oh. And now I can't hear anybody. Now you're laughing at me. You can hear me, though. That's good. You guys are talking.
And all that fun stuff. And applying those same things to these Tyranids, I like these Tyranids, the poses, better than any Tyranids that I've ever seen ever posed.
So tell me, what are some of these rules that you live by when you're building?
Well, so the first thing is, what is your model focusing on, right? Because at the end of the day, you've got to have your model doing something, right? He's reloading a clip. He's about to shoot someone. He's about to jump over a wall. He's getting shot at trying to dodge, all of those fun things. So the first thing is, like, what do you have to work with? Especially with the new Space Marines, you're a little bit more static, particularly with these freaking these bugs. The legs are all the same, so they all have kind of the same, lower body movement. But you can focus a guy to do what you want to. What do you want him to do? Is he aiming his gun? Is he about to slash you? Is he walking up? Right? So the
With the
first thing
big
is your
bugs,
head.
right?
Huh? No, on
With
all
the-
of them. Well, you really can't do shit with the little guys, but
Yeah.
you can, but not as much. But like, so these warriors, right? My main three pieces are I have one set of arms, a second set of arms, and a head. But then I've also got the torso, right? So what are we doing? Are we attacking someone with our claws? Are we aiming to shoot? I'm going kind of fire support with them because I have so many little bugs with claws that I've got attacks all over the place in close combat. So most of these guys are shooting. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to position them looking down where the barrel is aiming, right? No one's ever going to shoot a gun not looking at the target. It's the same thing as basketball, baseball. Keep your eye on the ball, right? So then the question is, what are you doing with your other arms, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to shoot. I don't care about my other arms, right? So it's very important that when you're aiming a weapon and getting a guy ready to shoot, that you don't have your claws up, that they're kind of in a passive type position. You can also do a lot with one of them being a little bit in front and another one being a little bit behind, right? Based on which foot is forward and which foot is back. But then you've also got other guys that's like, hey, yeah, I'm carrying a gun, but Josh is up in my face and I need to slash him. So now I'm not caring about the gun. The gun is kind of passively maybe dropped a little bit, maybe raised a little bit more. But now what I'm doing is I'm focusing my claws and my head and my torso on the imaginary attacker, right? So there's actually a lot of stuff to work with there. That's not just your standard bug pose, because I mean, you look at these guys in the GW magazines and stuff like that, and they're all just like, hey, I'm a bug and I'm walking.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
And
but do they seem pretty posable?
Oh, there's some of them
like
are
you're doing a lot of conversions.
Some of them are super
Yeah.
posable,
Some
especially
of
the
them
ones
are
that have like
super-
6 arms.
Yeah,
And their
yeah,
bodies
yeah,
are
exactly
so
like that.
modular because they're like all ball and socket for a lot of
Yeah,
them.
a lot of them
Exactly.
are ball. A lot of them are ball and socket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you have to not be afraid to cut off pieces from the model, because sometimes you'll get a really cool, like, oh, I really want to go ahead and turn this torso, like just crank it like you're, like, oh, fuck, behind me. But then you run into like a spine or you run into a piece of armor and it's like, okay, well, just chop that off so you can put the torso the way you want it to be. If you've got a dude who's coming over a rise, like, you don't want him hunched over coming over a rise. You want you want him full height. So there's like you said, the modularity lends itself to being able to make these really fun dynamic poses. And I'm doing most of this stuff so far with refurbished models. So I'm ripping arms off and re-drilling the holes and putting new arms on and all that fun stuff.
I mean, I literally took my Malwalk, broke its back, and made it crawling on all 6 of its legs, and then cut its tail off and re-sculpted a new tail using green stuff and the Necron Wraith
It's super cool.
bits.
Exactly.
And it kind of looks like a scorpion, and it's got its mouth open. But, like, it was... I don't remember how much that model was when it came out, but it was expensive.
Oh, they're expensive now.
And, like... when I was taking that saw to its back, and I was like, well, I hope this works. Like, because I'm literally about to cut you in 2 and then cut a V out of you and then rebuild your spine,
But you were brave.
I was brave.
Gotta be brave.
I'm a brave.
Gotta be brave.
I'm a brave Necron, brave Tyranid soldier.
Well, but that's the fun with it, man. And because they are so organic, it is really easy to get good quality, conversions with green stuff and meld things together. You don't have to worry about, oh, is my armor plate gonna blend with my other armor plate? You're just like, let me slap a Tyranid armor plate over the whole thing, and who cares about the joint? You know.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of
There's
a
more
lot of potential
flexibility.
there.
More flexibility.
Tons of flexibility.
Josh, dare I ask,
Yes, sir.
how did it end up looking? It's dope. It's dope. Did you order anything?
No.
I thought you were going to say dice.
No. I did not order anything.
That's okay.
I am on the hobby sadness, if you don't recall.
I was just double checking.
I know.
I was just double checking.
I'm on the hobby sadness.
That's fine. You can keep playing Path to Exile. Let's get into some nitty gritty, though. There's a lot of stuff to cover.
So much stuff.
So much stuff to cover. Let's start with Necrons, and hopefully Aaron has a bunch of good information for us, because I didn't read a lot about the Necrons, because
I read
they're stupid robots.
They are not stupid robots. One, they have souls, so therefore not robots.
Oh, so wait, hold on.
They're Cybermen.
If you are 100% non-organic, but you have a soul, are you a cyborg?
No, you're a Cylon.
You're Cyberman.
Cybermen have people inside. They have organic bits inside.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
If it's, I feel like thoughts that came from an organic, like from a person that is controlling as their personality, you're still a cyborg.
Right, but if you're just a robot with a soul, like Data, what are you?
The Eldar have this problem too. All the Wraith Guard and Wraith Lords are basically that as well.
Huh.
Did it work at Cool Guys Nation? Well, we are all Cool Guys Nation.
We are all cool guys.
Did what work?
A Revenant is what he said. Did your Revenant work? Sean?
Revenant?
I'm
Did
so
it work?
confused.
Anyways, so moving on. Necrons,
my
they have some
Ravener?
new.
Cybernetic equals organism. Okay, let's start.
Alright. All right.
So I derailed us immediately.
You did. Immediately.
You're like,
So,
philosophical question.
Necrons are known for a couple things, right? Being tin cans with a heart of gold. That's it for
Exactly.
Or oil.
That's how I would describe them.
Yep. Uh-huh. So, they're known mostly for their reanimation protocol, which is their ability to stand models back up after they die, as long as the unit's not completely killed off. That had a lot of retweaking. It's very different from how it was before. That caters more towards single wound models than it does multi-wound models. But there's lots of ways to buff it. There's rerolls all over the place. You can use your resurrection orb that allows you to do a whole extra reanimation protocol. And what's really cool is it used to just happen during the command phase, but now it happens after a unit takes damage from another model, from like combat damage. So mortal wounds, you don't get reanimation protocols off of those. Spell damage, you don't get reanimation protocols off of those.
Really?
But, yeah. Those are the ways to get around it. But it's their kind of bread and butter, what they're known for, so that they have that sticking power. They keep coming back.
I mean, it may work better for single wound models, but they added reanimation protocols to a lot of models that didn't have it previously.
They did, and also they spread a lot more living metal around, which is like gain one wound at the start or in the command phase for the model. So there's lots of that. There's a lot of ways to do it. I mean, you still have like your ghost arcs, the dudes with the dudes sitting on it, the big long arc. That gets you dudes back. I think it's like D3 Warriors back return. Warriors themselves, don't they have reroll ones built into them? So I think it's looking pretty good for them on that that front. They introduced command protocols, which is kind of interesting. We'll see how good it is. It's basically like combat doctrines that change every turn, and you have to choose them before the games. So basically, you have 6 to pick from. You choose 5 of these combat doctrines. Each combat doctrine has 2 buffs, like +1 to movement, or like -1 AP, I think, is on one of them. But you have to decide, do I want this one to be in the first turn and then this one to be in the second turn? And you hide that, and then you reveal it at the beginning of each of the turns to show what you got. So it's going to take a little bit of planning and thought.
Do any of them affect like OBSEC or being able to take an action while controlling an objective?
They're pretty minor, to be honest.
There is, I believe, one that allows you to shoot while you're making an action. And I think that there's another one that makes all of your models, or maybe that is there might be one that also gives all of your models objectives secure for the turn.
Oh, wow.
Maybe.
That'd be kind of...
I think that's one of the dynasties.
Okay, is that one of the dynasty abilities? Yeah. So you got rules that are changing up for your guys every turn from the command protocols. And then you have your dynasty abilities. And there's, 5, 6 dynasties. I think 6 dynasties. And they each have their own rules that, if you want to do more of a melee build, you take the whatever one. If you want to do more balanced ones, you want to do ones that are more melee focused. You got other abilities there, and then each one of them has, I think, 2 different abilities for whichever house that you want to be of Necrons. And then each one of those command protocols, as I mentioned, they have 2 abilities on them. You pick one when it comes up. So it's kind of either I do this or I do that.
Now, do you have to pre-pick that, or can you pick that in the moment?
No, the command protocol, like the tier or the name of the level of command protocol, that you pick for the level. And then when you turn it over and you say it's turn 3, I have X command protocol, it has 2 options. I'm going to pick option B. So you have a little bit of flexibility there.
And if you've got if your whole thing is the same dynasty, you get to pick both.
Right, on that turn of your dynasties.
Right.
It's not every turn. But there's other ways to manipulate it a little bit. But a lot more rules for Necrons, things that buff them in different directions. And there's a whole lot of units that got a whole lot of changes. There's now 4 different types of cryptex.
Wow, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's fine. It's like, here's your vanilla cryptech, and then do you have the one that is going to give, +1 to advance, or do you want the one that does this? Do you want to take an orb? Do you want to take a cloak? I mean, it's really just one cryptech it's really 4 cryptechs. And they should have just kept them all different, but they're on the same data sheet for some reason.
And that's, the amount of changes to the Space Marines is insane. Like, it's crazy.
Well, and that's one of the things. The Space Marine book is literally twice as thick as the Necron book. They're both $50.
Yep.
What is that about? It doesn't have to be half the cost, but like 35, 40? Like,
yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
It's just because they standardize the cost for everybody, no matter how big they are, though.
Yeah, but does that mean that the supplemental, like when Blood Angels come out, are they going to be $50 too?
That's correct. They'll all be 50.
Yeah, you think so, huh?
100%.
Ugh. That's just kind of rude, but it is.
I don't think the supplements are going to be $50.
We will see. They'll be coming shortly.
They'll be $49.99.
Ah.
Yeah, so what is your top 3 things from the Codex, and what is your bottom 3 things from the Codex?
Top 3 things from the Codex as far as units go.
Whatever floats your Necron.
My Necron boat.
Whatever powers your monolith.
Oh, don't bring up monoliths because they're now
Oh,
Lords
no.
of War and they don't have invulns, and but they do have like crazy auto hitting melee attacks. So yeah, I don't think you're gonna do anything competitive with them anymore.
No.
Unless you
Bummer.
want to do something silly and take 3 and then just smash them up in people's faces and just like have them stomp on everything. But that's gimmicky and would never be competitive.
You know what? I'm gonna be brave and I'm gonna call the meta right away. You
All right.
ready for this?
Okay.
Here
Sure.
comes.
Minimum detachments, maximum Satans with the dynasty that gives obsec to all units.
Yeah, this Satan crazy now. They have ability that they can't take more than 3 damage per phase.
Yeah.
Bomb.
But
And
they
they
can
can
only come 1 per detachment now.
Right. Only 1 per detachment. The Deceiver, still pretty cool. He's the guy that does a lot of teleport shenanigans. But the real big one is the Nightbringer. Because that dude just raffle stomps over everything. He looks
Yeah.
like he is just going to shred anything you want.
And the Void Dragon looks really good too.
Well, yes.
But I think it might just be the cheaper ones that are a couple hundred points cheaper.
The
just so you can
Transcendent
spam
ones.
them. Yeah, the Transcendents, because I think those will be more easily spammable, and they still have all the fun stuff.
Oh, you think
We'll
so? Huh?
I'm just saying, you're probably going to take a Deceiver, a Void Dragon, and a generic one.
Yeah. So the Satan are super good. The Silent King is literally his data sheet is a full page. He has, I think, the longest data sheet in GW history.
Is
Yeah.
he good though?
I mean, yeah, I think he's good at 450 points. But he seems like he will kill anything. He buffs a lot of stuff around him. So I'm building Triarch Praetorians because he synergizes a lot with them. It seems like for the Praetorians, which are the ones with the stabs that they do 2 damage on their
Mhm.
shooting and melee.
One of my favorite Necron units, by the way.
Yeah. They could be Space Marine killers, but there's all sorts of buffing going on with them. They have lots of love. So I think, the Satan, definitely one of the biggest things. The Silent King, definitely also huge. And just these new rules.
Does the Void Dragon, is that what it's called? Void Dragon?
Void Dragon is one of the Satan.
Does he get his own model?
Yes, he's the one that looks really cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the one that looks like his belly's getting ripped open digitally.
Digital evisceration.
Nice.
Digital bad.
So top 3, definitely Satans, definitely the Dynasty, OBSEC. What's your third one?
Well, OBSEC was Josh's, but that is a really good one. I was going to say the new special rules, the new command protocols, and all the dynastic codes, which are the bolter disciplines or whatever chapter tactics.
And bottom 3 things from the Codex.
I'm going to say the new command things. The thing you just said that was the best. I think it's the worst.
Well, I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's the best thing out of the Codex, but it's something that changes them the most.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Because they're all minor and you really have to plan ahead. Like by default, I think everyone's just going to pick the +1 movement in the first round just to get up the board. But worst,
Monolith is pretty bad.
the Monolith, yeah, I think that one probably took the biggest hit. I was really sad that those heavy destroyers were not better. I was really hoping to take 3 of those and just like nuke stuff, but that's not really what they do so much.
I'm sad that the
new
Annihilation
destroyers.
barges apparently are still bad.
What's that, Josh?
What?
I said I'm sad that the Annihilation barges are still apparently bad.
Yeah, and the Annihilation barges haven't really changed much, which is a shame because I just put together two. However, you're going to need to be able to throw out those command protocols, right, out with one of your leaders. And because Necrons are all about their dynasties and houses, whatever, if you any of your HQs have the noble keyword, they have to be your commander. And if you have two that are both noble, you can pick whoever. But it kind of makes sense. Like if you have the Silent King and then you have a Cryptek, there's no reason that the Cryptek could be your warlord.
You're just like, I'm tired. I'm too tired. You take over.
So that's kind of interesting. But they have those everyone that's I think in HQ has the bubbles for the command protocols to throw out there. So you might want to take a Lord on barge because he can zip around faster, throw out those bubbles, has more wounds because he's on the little flying barge. So he goes from 4 to 9, I think. And you're just kind of throwing out overlapping bubbles all over the place, which is something that seems like Necrons are definitely going to be doing a lot of.
Do you think they're competitive?
I think so, but this has come from someone who is not competitive whatsoever. And I think, right now in 40K, it's a lot of, hey, yeah, this thing is totally competitive this week, but who knows in a couple. But, there was only 3 Necron model releases, and I think that there's a total of 11 coming out, so there's still a lot more coming. I mean, obviously,
but the rules are out. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't follow meta, and I think the meta is global pandemic right now. So who really?
Right.
At first, for a second, I thought that was an actual rule, and then I got it.
Yeah, that's in the the Death Guard Codex.
Right. Death Guard gets bonus all year. So, should I jump into Space Marines?
You didn't ask me if I thought they were going to be meta.
Because you don't think that they're good.
I think that they're going to have some niche ones that will be, but I think Space Marines have this right now all day long.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. I think Space Marines got a lot more love in general, and they're the Space Marines.
First of all, if you're coming to 9th edition from 8th edition, and you're expecting to just, transport your army and check out a couple pages of the book, you're in for a treat. Everything has changed.
Everything you say, huh?
I mean, the amount of stuff that's changed in the book is mind-boggling. They changed stratagems into core rules, and they changed core rules into stratagems, and they gave everything all these new keywords, and I mean, you're really learning almost a new army, right? And they did the same sort of thing they did with the Cryptex, except they did it with every single model has 5 different variants. They also changed a bunch of wounds, and they changed a bunch of profiles. So there's just a lot of stuff. So first of all, you should just be ready that you have a lot of new stuff to learn going Space Marines 8th to 9th. But if we start at the top, one of the big things that they did is that they took the sort of core focus of the Space Marines and they turned it into a single special rule, which is called Angels of Death. And then under Angels of Death, you find, and they shall have no fear, bolter discipline, shock assault, and combat doctrines. Right? So now
so many rules right there.
So many rules right there. They also folded in Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Death Watch, and Space Wolves into the Codex.
Which I love.
I absolutely love that too. However, what I think is funny is that based off of some of the research that we were doing, right now, until FAQs come out and until supplements come out, there are 15 active books that now give you rules for Space Marines.
15 books. That's like an entire shelf of a bookshelf
Can you
dedicated
imagine
to
having a
Space
tournament,
Marines in 8th edition.
having all those books?
But that's only because, like, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Death Watch, and Space Wolves are all now in one book, right? So you wouldn't necessarily need 15 books to run your army. But I think that a lot of that stuff is going to get rectified and simplified soon. But here's the thing. I think that putting those all into the main book is awesome. Other than the fact that, you know, Space Marines get more for their money in real human dollars because they're getting a lot more factions in one book than the Necrons are getting in their book.
Yep.
But other than that, at least now you're in a situation where you can read about the other factions, you can know the core of the other factions, you can understand how they work. And from a competitive standpoint, that's really nice because knowing how other people play is extremely important. And deciding on what you're going to build, you know, I think having this sort of centralized place is a really good change. But just right off the bat, I mean, it is major changes out of the gate. Major changes. In terms of actual units that have had changes, I just sort of broke it down into what are going to be must-takes. And I sort of highlighted 3 units. So the Chief Apothecary now can automatically bring people back. He's got a whole bunch of cool special rules that go along with him individually as well as stratagems. He can spread his heals out between multiple guys, so he can bring 2 people back at once, and he also has other stratagems to bring people back at full runes. He's going to be super cool. The Chief Librarian is pretty awesome. They did a bunch of upgrades. He can cast 1 more spell. He can deny the witch twice. He's pretty badass. And then the new meta is going to be the Smash Master instead of the Smash Captain. At least that's the way it's looking.
Smash Master.
The Smash
I like
Master.
that name better anyway.
Yeah.
So that, like, those 3 things you're probably going to see on the table, and they are models that you should start thinking about purchasing if you don't have them or converting. The other major change is that when you upgrade your models, you're no longer paying CP, you're paying normal points.
So it's like, what, 40 points for a chapter master instead of the 3 CP I think it was before?
Exactly, but you're limited to like 1 captain and 2 lieutenants, I think. So that's
they did the Tau style thing. You're
right.
only allowed to have, you know, so many of your super high commander guys.
Right.
You can't just super friends it.
So that's why the Smash Master is so important, because about time they made Space Marine specialty a folder of special rules. Exactly. So Chapter Ancient is kind of cool. He can give core units who do not have OBSEC, which is really neat. However, the ATVs are not a core unit, which is kind of a bummer.
Hey, I got a question for you about our ATVs, right? So they can shoot 14 shots a turn, right, each, right?
A lot of shots.
I don't know. I didn't count their shots.
Oh, I believe that's the amount of shots they can each shoot. And I think somebody told me they were like 80 points a model.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, 3 of them are going to be, what, 260? Wait, is that right? 240.
240, so 500 for 6.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And so 3 of them alone are going to shoot, what, like 42 shots every turn?
That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds real good.
But unfortunately they're not core units, so they don't get OBSEC, which makes sense.
If everything's gone, you don't.
Well, here's the other thing. We're talking the Onslaught Gatling cannon at what? Strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage.
That's amazing.
Huh?
That's an amazing gun.
Yeah, it's an amazing gun until you run into something that doesn't give a shit about it.
Like
right?
what?
So anything that's not light infantry.
No. This is good against everything. If I have 14 shots of it, it's amazing against every single thing.
I mean, volume of fire is super important. Deca,
Yeah.
right? Deca.
Volume of fire is super important,
And
right?
it has -1
But
save. It's wonderful.
I'm just saying, when you run into a tank heavy list, it's not going to be that auto win that you think it's going to be.
No, but it's also such a small point cost.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not taking up a huge amount of your army. The other important thing is that like core unit is really, really important, right? And that's something that you're going to have to look at. What is core and what is not core? So don't worry about it. Almost anything that isn't a vehicle, a character, or a centurion is core. So dreadnoughts and bikes are core, which is
What's the new dreadnought rule? I heard that's pretty cool.
I don't know.
Sean, you're the dreadnought master. Do you know?
Nah, man, I don't know.
Okay.
I
thought I read they made dreadnoughts good again.
Well, so there's a new dreadnought fist. The new dreadnought fist is really awesome. It's D3 plus 3, like straight up damage. So the fist is really good, and then the Iron Hands dreadnought gets that. The Iron Hands dreadnoughts get a buff. I think I made that. I think I marked that at the bottom. 1 second. So yeah, the Iron Hands don't get as many buffs as they get, but their dreadnoughts do still get the buff because one of the dreadnoughts went to 9 points, so it can like Lookout Sir, and it gets the D3 plus 3, and you get to take its wounds that are remaining and multiply them by 2 and use that for its degrading.
Well, that's awesome.
So it's going to degrade slower. But yes, the dreadnought specifically for Iron Hands did get good. But I'm not focusing on specific data cards, so I have no information really on specific data cards.
Okay.
I have general things, because again, the amount of things that have changed in the book is dramatic.
And there's 90 plus data cards.
There's 90 plus data cards. So I can't answer your specific questions if you have specific questions on
I got you.
on units. Which is why I just highlighted my must takes. So the Chief Apothecary, the Chief Librarian, the Smash Master, the ATVs, the Chapter Ancient, they all came out with really strong, good rules that are very synergistic, not only between their core rules, but also between the stratagems that they get to use. And depending on which chapter you're taking them with, they may be better or worse, but just be prepared for Smash Masters, right? Like just be ready for that. Next up, we already talked about the core. The next big thing is that a lot of the abilities that you relied on before have been turned into stratagems, and a lot of stratagems have been turned into abilities.
Really?
Yes. And there are 4 pages of stratagems. So I did not go through all of the stratagems, right? Because there's too many, but I will give you some examples. Assault interceptors got a substantial upgrade. Tactical squads got 2 wounds, but they're 18 points. Melt-a-bomb is now a keyword, which relates to a stratagem.
Cool.
The Judicar wording has been changed so that he works the way that people said that he was supposed to work. So there is no way to get around him making you fight last. It literally now says you are not eligible to fight, so you can't use a stratagem that would say, I am eligible, I can fight now. It just literally says not eligible. So the Judicar will force something to fight last. Sorry, no getting around it. The Redemptor Fist is now D3 plus 3 damage. The Contemptor is now 9 wounds. That's the huge buff for Iron Hands. Bikes get 3 wounds. However, Scout bikes do not. And attack bikes are still 4. And here's something crazy. Scouts are no longer troops. They are now elites.
What?
Yeah.
Weird.
So That was kind of crazy, and they did not get a boost to their wounds. The other crazy thing is that all of the hover tanks, guess what? Guess what?
No fly.
No fly!
What did they get a rule to replace that?
No.
No, but
So they
it's
put
it's
everything
cool, man,
on
because
wheels now.
they don't fly. Like the whole point of a hover tank is that you're still right next to the ground. It's providing you enough lift to stay off the ground and traverse the ground easily. So I'm okay with that 100%.
I mean, from
Well, I just think it's funny we were giving you so much crap about the bikes with wheels,
Right,
and now
and
they
now-
took away all the flying
now,
tanks.
now I need to take all the tanks and I need to put wheels on them.
Yes, I agree.
So that was kind of fun. So the Hammerfall bunker has to be put in your deployment zone.
What?
And it explodes 6 inches for D6 wounds when it dies.
When it dies,
Dude, it sounds
Yeah,
like
but
a
that's-
great piece for your opponent.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like a great objective holding Doom thing.
yeah. Hammer of Wrath got an upgrade, which is kind of cool. It allows you to do mortal wounds and whatnot. So it's like essentially they took the stratagems, and again, there's 4 pages of stratagems, and like I said,
So-
I'm covering as much as I possibly can because they were the cheapest, most effective snipers, and they probably still are. You just can't take them as troops. So that's a good point, D. That's a very good point. And they kind of broke it down between battle tactics, epic deed, requisitions, strategic ploy, and war gear. It's just there's a lot. You know what I mean? Like there is a lot, and you know what that's going to mean when you're playing. There's going to be a lot of gotcha moments, and there's going to be a lot of people playing with the wrong rule, or using the stratagem wrong. I kind of don't like the amount of stratagems. Like I think
What?
Are there a lot that are like, but for certain chapters, or are they all generic?
Space Marines have a whopping page of regular stratagems. Space Marines have a whopping 4 pages of regular stratagems.
Oof.
So no, that does not include the stratagems for Dark Angels and things like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, each one of them, each
That's
chapter is
intense.
going to have their own.
Exactly. Skilled ride. Okay, so I did point out a couple good ones. Hammer of Wrath is a major improvement. Jump pack unit finishes a charge move. It can pick one enemy unit with engagement range. Roll a d6 for each model in your jump pack unit, and each roll that equals or exceeds the target unit's toughness does 1 mortal wound. That's kind of cool.
I love that.
Warlord trait, stealth adept, completely changed from its previous version. You can now be targeted with range. You now cannot be targeted with range attacks unless it's the closest eligible target. And if you pair it with a Phobos captain, he might not be targetable at all. So there's some sort of weird interaction going there, and you won't even be able to deep strike next to him. Dark Angels, super good news for Dark Angels, with the exception of Brilliant Strategist. Brilliant Strategist got a downgrade because it's happening before the roll, so you don't get to move around your models after knowing who's going first and second.
Yeah.
But they did get a bunch of other upgrades, and you're the Dark Angels player, Sean. So I don't know if you looked at any of that stuff specifically.
Man, I didn't make it far enough through that, but I'm super excited, honestly, about access to the rest of the freaking armory, dude. There are some clutch units in there that we have never been able to use. I have a raging hard on for ironclad dreadnoughts.
Hey,
And as you guys might know, I am building a dreadnought list.
Yes.
And I had heard that this was going to happen, so I have Mark IV Dreadnought Chain Fists coming from a place, lots of them. So I'm about to march up the field with, seven close combat dreadnoughts ready to go with a freaking dreadnought chaplain at the front of it. And I don't care if it's competitive or not. It's going to be cool as balls and something that I've always wanted done with the game. And I still have enough left over for a bunch of Razorbacks and a bunch of troops to hold objectives.
Can I talk to you about a fear that I have for you?
Have at, buddy.
I'm afraid that that everything that you love and dream of right now is going to be basically destroyed because when they get their own book, they're not going to have the same access to stuff, and it'll make me sad for you.
Very possibly, and that will make me sad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well, thanks for lighting up the mood there, Josh. Just
that. I mean, that just seems crazy. Though.
don't enjoy it right now, Sean. It's
That-
awful because it could go away
Well,
very
and
soon.
let me
here's
ask
my
you a question.
But I mean, but
So-
that whole just really quickly. But that's what I was saying at the beginning with this FAQ thing, right? So there are 15 books with Marine rules in it that are still valid until either Codex supplements come out or FAQs come out. So there's a lot of stuff up in the air. But here's my last point, and then we can talk about whatever we want. I didn't hear you talk about this, Aaron, but there are now Codex specific objectives, and I think that that's going to be a really, really big deal. Because
For secondaries, right?
for secondaries, because there's going to be some sort of synergisms, and there's going to be some like stuff that we don't know that's coming out that's just going to allow people to rack up the points. You know what I mean? When they're like, oh, well, my secondary does this in this situation and I score 15 points this turn, right?
Yeah. No, I think some factions might get a little advantage with how easy it is for them to actually take, get their secondaries.
Mm-hmm.
So, Warbuggy says, just played my first night game this past week. I thought it was pretty on par with 8th. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't think that this is going to cause a game feel change. It's just a lot of rules changes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. It's a heavy amount of rules. Heavy, heavy, heavy. All right, Sean, I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, it's okay, man. I think that I don't know. My question is, right, and my concern and my hope, to be the antithesis of Josh's hatred. You know I love you, bro. But I'm hoping that the fact that Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and stuff are getting rolled into the Codex means something really positive, as opposed to hey, we're gonna get another book later and it's gonna invalidate a whole bunch of stuff, right? I'm really hoping we're looking at more along the lines of Psychic Awakening type books in the future, where it's like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and change the stats on this, give you one more thing, swap around your.
I honestly can't imagine that they would it would be a pretty dirty tactic to be like, okay, you have access to all this stuff, and you just went out and you made this army and you used all these rules, and oh, by the way, now you lose access to half these things.
Yeah, now you have a whole new your own codex. What the fuck is the point of putting everything in the core codex? Which they should, right? Because it puts all of the chapters on the same footing. And one of the things we've always heard from the gaming community, or at least I have, is like, man, why don't I have a White Scars book? Why don't I have an Imperial Fist book? Those kind of things. They just clumped it all together, and now we've all got books for all of our chapters. Why do you need to go past that unless you're making a supplement that's going to add something to it, right?
This is why.
No, I know, but so make the supplement and add shit to it and be like, okay, well, here's some extra models that you can buy that are Dark Angels only. Here's a couple modifications to the rules.
Yeah, I think that's more likely at this point than for them to invalidate something.
I just can't imagine that they're going to come back with a codex. Because, I mean, any Dark Angels player, especially those playing competitively, are going to have to buy whatever they put out for Dark Angels. There's just no choice. You're just going to have to, right? But I think, I hope, I don't think, because I don't know anything at this point in time, I hope that it is going to be much more along the lines of, hey, here's this extra stuff. You know, you got all of the basics and this and that in the regular Space Marine Codex, and here's some more things to make you more unique. Or honestly, just don't give me a freaking supplement. Or do a Space Marine supplement that has the, the modifications to all the Space Marine chapters from the Space Marine book.
So we have an interesting conversation going on in the chat, as
Please
to
relay.
as to whether or not people should start buying stuff for armies that don't have codexes out yet.
That's a risky move.
Yeah.
I mean, do you like the army? Then by all means, start buying stuff.
Yeah, if you're only in it to win games at your local FLG, do not do that. If you are a super nerd like Sean, buy whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, I mean that's how I'm at with like the Gene Stealers. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter to me what the Gene Stealer rules are. Like that's not why I'm painting, my Gene Stealers at the moment.
Speaking of Gene Stealers, real quick, Aaron, how many pure strain Gene Stealers do you have?
In this, like, available to me?
Yes.
I believe that I have, I want to say 30 Gene Stealers that are unpainted that I could paint to match this army, and then I have 60 that are in my actual Tyranid army, but they are painted a completely different scheme.
So what you're saying is you don't need any more Gene Stealers?
I don't think so. I'd have to check the studio, because I don't remember how many aren't painted. Why, do you have a bunch of Gene Stealers?
Quite a few.
Yeah, I got a Gene Stealer a lot I'm trying to get rid of.
Yeah, I might take it.
Okay, well let me know on the flip side. But what I really need is I need 2 Tyranid Warrior Scything Talons.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, so if you can hook a brother up, that would be awesome. Because I got a lot and I put everything together and I just got one dude who needs Scything Talons. And me, I like my squads to be all pretty and similar and, function the same way and stuff. Partially because the aesthetic and partially because then I don't have to, reference 30 rules every time I want to attack with the squad.
Warbuggy says I don't need any more Gene Stealers. Whoa, now. Let's not do anything crazy. I mean, obviously.
90?
Obviously, I need more Gene Stealers. Obviously. Because they have to be the right color.
Think about it like the Imperial Guard.
Yeah. I mean, my Gene Stealer army, Gene Stealer cult, I should say, is pretty small. Like, pretty much what's on the table right now is all of the troops that I have for it, right? And everything else are vehicles that I need to build. I still have some characters in boxes, because they have a bunch of special characters. So I think I have 4 or 5 special characters. I have the 2 trucks. I have one of the dune buggies, and I have 2 boxes of the bikes. So, it's not an optimized army. It's not like figuring out, okay, every single squad, this is the best gun that needs to be taken, and that's the only one it's going to take. I was like, oh, I like the heavy rock saw, and I like the heavy rock drill, and I like the heavy rock laser. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think this is fun. I think they're cool, and I'm really enjoying this paint scheme. So, yeah, like, if you're really interested in something and you think it's fun, I would not necessarily hold off from buying it. If your fun, however, is figuring out what the meta is and then crushing face, then you might want to wait. You know what I mean? Then you might want to wait.
We've also got to address the financial component, right?
Sure.
You know, if you're not in a situation where you have the means to, say, buy another $150 of stuff when your codex drops, you might also want to wait, right? Purchases become much more important. excuse me when you're working on a budget.
But I think right now you're pretty safe for Necrons, and I think you're pretty safe for pretty much any Space Marine faction. I think you're going to have enough information to buy what you need to buy. I think you're pretty safe for Sisters, considering the amount of information that came out with Sisters not too long ago.
Did you go outside?
No.
Oh, have we mentioned that all of the appropriate models are able to gain the Raven, or I'm sorry, the Raven Wing or the Deathwing keywords. So anything in Terminator armor is allowed to get Deathwing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, anything on a bike or a land speeder that flies or rolls is allowed to get the Raven Wing.
Now, what does that get them?
So what that does is that puts them into the special grouping of the Dark Angels where you get extra stuff. So, for instance, Samael, and this is 8th edition because we haven't looked at the new codex, Samael would give his bonuses, and he's a badass. He's flying around a skimmer. He's got a bunch of guns. He'll chop you up. He's giving his bonuses to Raven Wing units near him,
Okay.
right? Not Dark Angels, but specifically Raven Wings. So we had issues where you could take a captain on a bike, and obviously he's Raven Wing because you're Dark Angels and you're on a bike, you're Raven Wing. That's just all there is to it. But he didn't have the keyword, so he couldn't benefit from any of the things, right? So now your characters on bike are going to have those same keywords. Your units on bikes and land speeders are going to have those same keywords. And then you get into the situation where not sure about dreadnoughts, but basically anything in Terminator armor, and I'm assuming the Gravis armor, but again, got to look at the book, are going to be able to be Deathwing as well, and that puts them in the first company. That gives them all sorts of fun stuff. Same thing with stratagems and being buffed by things that are Deathwing specific, like the Deathwing have a Deathwing banner. Don't know what the new rules are. They gave everybody +1 to attack. All the Deathwing units +1 to attack nearby. And when you're talking about Terminators with Power Fist, +1 attack is some pretty serious-ish.
Oh yes, and while we're on that, here's some other really important changes. The assault, and I think we all knew this coming. The assault Primaris Marines can take a Thunderhammer, and all of those other fun options for the lieutenant,
Which I think is pretty cool.
So you finally have the same flexibility that you had with your assault marines and with your standard space marines. Like, you kind of have that flexibility all over the place. Standard space marines went up to 18 points, but they have 2 wounds, so that's kind of awesome.
That's just fine.
And Terminators have 3 wounds, and bikes have 4 wounds.
Yeah, all of that is fantastic.
Which means for me that just means like, oh, I can still play with my old cool stuff. I don't know if it's actually going to be meta competitive, but in my judgment, the new 9th edition is all about objective games, and objective games are way different than kill games.
Yeah, I'll agree.
So let me ask a question real fast. So I have seen on the shelves at gaming stores this set of I don't know if it was open war cards or combat cards or something. It looks like the new Space Marine Codex, right? It's on the front. That's the pictures, and it's some sort of card that is not specific to an army.
Right.
And I've been debating buying these things, but I don't really know what's in them. Is that like does anybody know what the hell that is?
It's the same thing as the 8th edition, and it's a way of randomizing the game. So it's a set of mission pack cards where it'll tell you the table that you're playing on, the mission that you're playing on, and the special rules for that. And you'll divide it into your 4 piles, and then you'll randomly draw, and it will determine what you're playing.
By the way, you know that I am hardcore, like, rules, whatever. That is the most fun to play version of 40K for me.
I agree.
I always found Maelstrom to be the most fun, right? Stuff where it's not just, hey, we're set up and now let's go, hey, there's some sort of weird shit happening. So I might actually go ahead and pick those up
Now
next time
here
I'm
is
gonna start getting paint.
here is the negative. Here is the negative.
The negative.
Um,
Always the negative.
the cards are not formulated to work with all of the game size mats. So there are some where it's like you set up this objective here and you set up this objective here, and these two objectives need to be 24 inches apart, which means that you can't use the cards in a patrol game because your entire freaking board is 24 inches apart.
Yeah, and I'll just be super
So,
how I am. I still play on 6x4.
Yeah, which is fine so long as you're playing on a 6x4. I'm just saying it's kind of annoying that they have this awesome way of playing, but it doesn't work with all the different size playing. But I definitely think that the random board and the random mission objectives, but that's why I'm saying like these secondary objectives that are codex specific could have major ramifications. Like major ramifications, especially if you start combining things like I'm able to take these units, and I can make them OBSEC, and I can make them put up take an action, put up a flag, and shoot, right, and I get double points for some reason, right, whatever it is. Like maybe it's a secondary objective. Like if you put up a flag this turn, you get D3 extra points. There could be some crazy stuff like that. Other crazy stuff is that Space Wolves, everybody gets heroic intervention.
Yeah, that's really good.
Which is real dangerous.
That seems like it's fluffy.
But it is fluffy,
dangerous.
yeah, exactly. But
It
yeah,
is fluffy.
very, very strong as well to be able to go ahead and pull in your unit of whatever with a gray hunter in there, and
and take something.
Yep.
Take an objective away from somebody on their turn because you positioned yourself just right. You know what I mean, to be able to move in, or to be able to deny an objective out of fear of just it happening, right? Like, it's a very good rule for them. But I didn't I didn't go too specific into stuff because there's just so much.
I wonder how much time they spend on the actual writing of Space Marine stuff versus everyone else.
They must have spent a tremendous amount of time.
They have the Space Marine rule team, and then everyone else.
Yeah.
It's like Forge World in Games Workshop, except it's Space
Marines.
Forge World and Games Workshop.
Hopefully they'll do justice to a lot of cool stuff, and hopefully they'll do it quickly. Like they need to get a demon army updated pretty quick. They need to get an elf army updated pretty quick.
An elf army?
Yeah, the space elves.
What?
The space
Eldar.
elves.
Eldari.
Yeah, space elves.
It came. I was thinking about it the other day, and it was like GW. We got to give them a little bit of props. They started doing the whole. I thought changing the names of like all the races was just focused on
IP.
On IP, but it could have been PC as well. Interesting thought I had the other day. Because the Dark Eldar that are now Drakuri, it sounds so much nicer to say Drakuri than Dark Eldar.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I didn't think about it that way. But anyways, they need to update that stuff, and they need to give it to people quick. I think.
Need it stat?
We need it stat. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't like this brush that I'm using for this particular project. Well, we got about 10 minutes left in the stream.
What?
So that's all I got for our Space Marine Codex break apart. It was only 4 pages of notes.
Any pre-orders coming out this weekend?
I didn't check, but I can check now.
Checkity check. Want to know what I'm buying now?
I feel like they're gonna give us a little time, right?
No.
Why?
Next week, Sunday preview. Huge news for the Mortal Realms.
Oh.
So it looks like a Behemoth is coming out, which is a new giant model.
Oh.
And it
Sons of
says
Behemoth.
you'll be able to pre-order one of the largest monster kits ever made for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the Mega Gargant.
Dude, I would totally that's one army I would really love to do.
Oh, wow. And they have like 5 different variants of it. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Oh, it's a
new
whole
army
it's a
that
whole
apparently
army.
gives you, like, 4
Yeah.
models.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a whole
basically
army.
a great army for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Because they're all giants.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It looks like there's something for Necrons.
What?
Warriors.
What?
No.
a new warrior box, the standard warrior box. It'll come with scarabs and both guns.
Oh my god.
The destroyers.
Aaron,
that-
did you see if they changed the new gun at all since
Oh, it's Assault 2 now.
Okay.
Instead of Rapid Fire 1. So it's only 13 inches instead of 15 inches. But people are actually saying now they would be worth dropping out of a Ghost Arc and laying waste.
Yeah.
They're also
Sounds
pretty good
pretty
in
cool.
Crusade if you're playing Crusade because the boards are a lot smaller. So it's like you're already only 13 inches away from me.
Well, I mean, like a lot. The bottom line is that the objectives are all pretty close to each other, right? So even if you're playing on a big board, you got to get up to those objectives. So
Yes.
the difference, like 13 inches, 15 inches, 18 inches, 24 inches, those are all really, really important numbers.
Yeah.
But I think it's less. I think it has less of effect in 9th edition, the shorter range, than it would have in 8th edition.
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to get both browns put down today by the end of the stream, but I only got really one brown put down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Story of my life.
Well, I am getting pretty close to having this batch of Praetorians done. I just got to put the staves and the arms on the torsos. Basically, getting there.
Starhawk says, not a fan of AOS. He says, I miss the old world.
Yeah, I definitely would prefer 8th edition over Age of Sigmar still, but it's what we got.
That's funny because you're the one who made me like Age of Sigmar.
No, you're the one who made me play Age of Sigmar.
Really?
Yeah, because I liked Kings of War, and then you're like, well, we have all the models for Age of Sigmar. We should play that because remember you were like, my best painted model is my Age of Sigmar guy.
That's true. That's 100%.
I remember that because when it was coming out, I was like, "Hey, Josh, you want to split the starter box?" And he was like,
Dude, I loved 8th edition of Warhammer. I loved 7th edition, I loved 8th edition, and it just made my soul hurt when that came out. Thanks for opening that scab balloon.
I didn't know that you were one of the set your models on fire people.
I wasn't a set your models on fire. I just was like, I'm done with it for right now. I mean, when Age of Sigmar first came out, if you don't recall, they had the dumbest rules ever. Like, if you have the longest mustache, you win.
That wasn't.
I remember
that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
I liked
No.
it.
First of
liked
all,
it.
it was a specific character who got a specific rule that if you also had facial hair, then he got a buff. It was very minor.
Yeah, you compared your beard length to your opponent's beard length, and if your beard was longer than your opponent's, you got some sort of re-rolls or some sort of buff for that character.
That's
And if you played Cetra, if you ever kneeled, you immediately lost the game.
What?
Yep. And the ogre guy, you could bribe your opponent by buying them drinks.
I remember like every faction had like one dude that had one really wonky, weird rule.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, and there were no points for the game.
But yeah, and then there was
But you're the CP person now, so in retrospect, doesn't that change your mind?
What do you mean?
I thought you preferred to be able to take whatever you want to take.
Oh, absolutely not. That I hate that because I told you I like to break the rules. I don't want the rules pre-broken. That's of no use to me. There's no satisfaction in that.
Points.
Right. Yes. Well, we don't have to go back in time to that whole debacle.
That's good.
Hey, the game's in a lot better place now.
It's in a lot better place, with a lot better people, with a lot better miniatures, with a lot better names. And now there's a giant army.
Giants!
Well, Sean, from what I described, what are your top 3 takeaways from Space Marines? Or from the Codex, not necessarily.
Yeah, so I think that one of the big things is the limitation on the captains, right? So I like that you're not going to be able to take a whole bunch of the highest ranked dudes that there are. I am so excited about access to all these different items.
Wow, you sound
Some
excited.
categories.
You sound so excited.
I believe they changed the Thunderhammer profile to like 2 damage, didn't they?
I did not see. I didn't
Maybe
see that
it's
specifically.
only, they did something, or maybe it's.
Oh, but it's also
lost in
cheaper.
AP.
It's also
exactly. So
the
I think you're going to
Thunderham-
see a
right.
lot more Thunderhammers.
right. So that was the balancing. So like the Master costs you 40 points, so a Smash Master like is an additional 40 points, but the Thunderhammer is 20 points cheaper. So overall, it's not too much. I have seen someone burn their Dark Elves army. It was a beautiful army and a tragic sight. I hope Slanesh loved it. Because I sure as hell didn't. Yeah, that's... I don't know if you're talking about the viral video of the person burning, or if this was your own personal burning. But yeah, people burn their crap.
That they do.
That none of that made me happy, man. The amount of time and effort that goes into those, I understand being frustrated, but like, no.
Well, I mean, rebasing everything is a problem. So what's your bottom 3? What's your bottom 3 things from?
Bottom three things. I think the complexity. There's going to be so many rules and so many references. I'm hoping that it's going to get very clear very quickly because they've combined so many things into one large rule, like the Angels of Death. But I am very worried that this is just going to be rules bloat on on PCP in the back of a police car. Like, there's no way it's not going to get out.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm a little sad about is
Silence.
silence. Actually, I'm really happy with silence. I'm concerned about the books that are going to come out in the future.
Because of Josh.
Because of Josh. No, but we all knew it was possible, right? It's not just
Yeah.
Josh saying, hey, there's going to be a supplement. We know that there could be additional stuff. We also really, really, really need the FAQs and the information as to how to deal with the old rules coming from the Psychic Awakening, and the codexes before that, Codices. I think that we're going to be okay on account of that not fitting there.
Well, we are into the final minutes. Josh, what's your big takeaways?
Um, I definitely think that Space Marines are the absolute winners in this, but I feel that the hardcore Necron player is going to be able to compete. All the other rule books, by the way, I heard are free on the app now, like for all the other books, I think.
What do you mean?
The
All
pat
the others
like
are free.
the past ones.
Yeah, I think they're all on for free. I believe that's what I heard.
They're in there, but there's some weirdness about the way they are displayed.
Okay.
You can get the FAQs very, very easily, and you can get the data sheets for the models. But as for like looking at a PDF of the codex, that's not what's happening.
Oh, I don't think that's what's going to be with the Necron or the Space Marine book too. I think it's all going to be just the rules, not the codex.
Yeah, and that kind of bums me out because it's like, just give me the digital shit. You're gonna go ahead and release all the critical numbers, like put it in the same format, make it easy for me to decipher and use. But I'm with you. I'm very skeptical that that's a thing that's gonna happen.
Aaron, what's your final takeaways?
I'm just really looking forward to painting really big models, and playing around with new rules. And I don't care what the meta is because meta is Corona meta. And
Corona meta.
Well,
This year's all about the Death Guard.
I think I agree pretty much with you three. My big takeaways is that there's a lot of new stuff to learn, and I'm just gonna have to figure out how to play with the models that I have. I'm gonna keep buying what I like because I like it, and I'm not gonna worry too much about what stacks with what until Josh makes me really angry and I have to destroy him, and then we'll see if my opinion changes.
I like that I could be a motivating force in your life, though.
Oh, that is good. Thank you all for joining us this Sunday evening. We will always be live streaming on Sunday, and I also hope that you join us in your hobbying. This is a great opportunity to get your hobby on. Come paint and build and assemble with us. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter if you're playing Marvel Crisis Protocol or Warhammer or Age of Sigmar. It doesn't matter. Get your models out. Come join us for a paint and chat. And until next time, this has been Aaron, Sean, and Josh.
Hey,
We'll see you on the table.
It was just both of us. It was
Yes,
both of
we
us.
will. Aaron, Josh, Aaron, and Sean, and Aaron.
who are these other Aarons? They sound like assholes.
They are.
They are.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.